कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरवनचारी यमुना तीरवनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधे। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद इस डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद इस डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की। गंगमयी की यमुनमयी की भक्ति देवी की तुलसी देवी की कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu doesn't need much introduction. Vidwan Sarvatra Pujyate. It is said he's well known all across the globe. So but I'll say some few specific things but that you may not be aware. Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, even in his childhood, his home was somewhere close to Vijayawada, correct Prabhu? Yeah, close to Vijayawada. I recently met his parents. They had come to Govardhanako village. Even as a small child, going to the temple and reciting Vishnu Sahasranam was very, very natural for him. He grew up in a very nice spiritual ambience at home. And that is one of the reasons you will see when he grew up. He joined IISc Bangalore. IISc is in the top ranking institutions in the entire globe. And after his studies, when he joined the Govardhanako village, once Gauranga Prabhu was telling me how he identified the spark in Gauranga Darshan Prabhu. He said when he joined, Gauranga Prabhu said at that time we were just engaging all brahmacharis in whatever service was needed. So we had engaged him in making mud blocks for making the huts. And Gauranga was so educated and so intelligent, he was ready for any service. So this is the one beauty of great souls. For him, whatever service is given by Guru and Krishna is all right with me. So he was doing it almost 1.5 years. He was supervising and doing personally also himself. Then Gauranga Prabhu gave him deity department. So he told him to worship the deity Radha Vrindavan Vihari and also lead the deity department also. So that was another 1.5 years or so. So later on, when the Bhaktivedanta Vidyapeetham started, so Gauranga Prabhu was looking for someone who, Gauranga Prabhu did not want just a teacher. He was looking for someone who can completely spearhead the Bhaktivedanta Vidyapeetham. He said personally he had no time, but Maharaj was very insistent that this Vidyapeetham should be run there. So proper systematic Shastric training should be given. So then Gauranga Prabhu called him and asked him. And Gauranga Darshan Prabhu said, I am also still studying scriptures and making notes and preparing. Gauranga Prabhu said, you study and you teach also. Huh? So Gauranga Prabhu said, within a very short time, he manifested his special qualities of preparing study guides, and preparing very good materials for teaching, PowerPoints, and studying and teaching, like the Subodhini guide and everything. Eventually, he made. When I saw, when I went in 2012-13, when I saw his notes on Srimad Bhagavatam, overview notes, I said, "This is like a gold mine." I was telling him that if you may print this, it will go across the whole globe. I told him, it will sell like hotcakes. Everybody needs a bird's eye view of the entire chapter of the Bhagavatam, and he had for the whole 12 cantos he had made. Mm. And another thing that many may not know, he is a very good empowerer of devotees in terms of giving them little projects. He would give topics for students to do research and prepare and gather information from the scriptures and bring. Like once he had given some devotee the entire 10th canto, get all the analogies and examples. Then another devotee will tell them, take these examples and make pictures. And then he'll publish it in his magazine, that, what do you call that? Bhagavat. So he will publish it also. Many students became very encouraged by that. So in this way he was engaging. And I used to always tell him that you are so good in making books. If you make something for the children, because the children across the globe are nowadays attacked by very bad culture all around. So you saw what kind of books has produced. The Bhagavad Subodhini is such a colorful books with activity, with lessons learned in boxes and everything. So these books are taught. When I travel in the West also, I see many people using these books and putting it like courses. So in this way, he is speaking, is writing, is also speaking in the corporate companies like Salesforce and DRDO and other companies. Goes to IITs and IITs, gives analytical seminars also. And he has one side which is devotional side, and the other side, the technical side, of systematically presenting the Bhagavad philosophy. So Bhakti Vaibhava, Bhakti Vedanta courses, which he does in the weekend, like Saturday, Sunday, sometimes 500, 400, 500 devotees attend, and even his Holiness Sachindan Maharaj and Amarendra Prabhu, they delight in coming and joining the sessions, and he conducts quizzes. He is a full all-round teacher. He just doesn't teach and leave the people. He teaches, conducts quizzes, puts marks, gives up to certification. A full, complete loop he completes. In this way, because of that, his multi-faceted talents, because of that, the Vidyapeetham has taken off in a very big way. And he sings the shlokas very beautifully. He also teaches children a couple of days in a week, 200 children, 150 children, he teaches them, because they are the future of our movement. So what I see in his training is the most important foundation for our movement is education, Shastric education, which he is giving. He conducts one course called Character, Vaishnava Character, probably some 15, 20 topics he does that also. So That I heard that many of the students attend that, and that gives a very good spine to you in spiritual life. Without good character, you know, character is like a glass, and Krishna consciousness is like milk. Without the glass, you can't have the milk. So he gives importance to character and also to devotion, both. So in the recent past, I think it's 2 times they have done Gauranga Darshan and Amarendra Prabhu, a program called Rasa Chintamani in America. The last time there were like probably 350, 400 people. This time it was 700 people, I think, correct? I told very soon it's going to touch 1,000. Congregations from different parts of America come. I told Amarendra Prabhu and him also, that program has the ability to become like Sadhu Sangha festival, you know. It can become a very big festival. Eventually 1,000, 2,000 Vaishnavas can come. So he spoke on Brahma Vimohan Leela. Amarendra Prabhu spoke on Govardhan Leela. So both Leela in how many days? 3 days? In 3 days they did. So very marvelous response for that. So they are drowning in bliss, the whole Western world. Whenever they do this 3 days, everybody remembers for the whole year. So we also invited him to Hyderabad. He stayed there almost 10, 12 days in Leelan Prabhu's different gated communities. He went and gave, and also uh, there were a lot of programs, very good programs in Hyderabad. We invite him regularly. He knows Telugu. So he has a command over Telugu, Hindi, English, multiple languages. It's a great blessing for us in our ISKCON movement to have such a sincere practitioner who is simple at heart, at the same time, one who is very expert in technically presenting the Shastra to educated audience and reach to the hearts of the children by asking them questions and in an interactive manner, enthuse them and encourage them. So, and also one who is making the Bhagavatam understandable to the whole world through the Subodhini guides. Now he has produced this Brihad Bhagavatamrita. 2 books have come out. So last time he came and taught. This time also he's going to do it for 3 more days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, morning, evening, we are going to have it. So, and he has made many books like Nectar of Devotion, even this Nectar of Instruction, all of them study guides, even for them, making it very, very easy. The Bhagavad Gita Subodhini has become very famous. There are many people who have written guides, but his guide is considered very lucid, easy to use, very nice. So thanks to you, Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, for your good example of being an ideal practitioner and a preacher, and at a very young age, he has done a lot of good work, and he's continuing to do a lot of good work, traveling around to various places. His demands are very high. If you see the schedule of his programs throughout the week, it's super hectic schedules. But we invited him during this bliss camp. In this bliss camp, we have 35 leaders have come. I thought it will be good to, because he taught in the GBC college on leadership. So I thought it will be very nice to have him before he comes for the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. If Prabhuji comes here, it will be nice to have him as a part of bliss to do some of the topics he's going to do today. So he is beginning with the Bhagavatam class now, and we will also do some more topics for the leaders. So let us welcome Gauranga Darshan Prabhu. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! This is Gauranga Darshan Prabhu ki.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swavin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. My humble obeisances to all the devotees at ISKCON and VCC Pune, and also pranams to all the devotees who came from different parts of India, from Kolkata, Bangalore, Kanpur, Dharwad, many other places, all the wonderful leaders, and my respectful obeisances to His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu, my worshipable superior, one of my Siksha Gurus, and an exemplary Vaishnav who inspired hundreds and thousands of young devotees to take to the path of Krishna consciousness, who wrote several books, who gave thousands of classes, who is an example of constant eagerness to learn, whether it is spoken by someone who is half his age or even one-third his age. Prabhu has absolutely no reservations in learning something which enhances one's practice of devotional service. Although he said so many things, I don't think I deserve so much of attention or affection, honestly. But I take it as a blessing, encouragement, and the blessing and encouragement of exalted devotees is the only source of sustenance, at least in my spiritual life. Personally, I don't have any qualification or purity or maturity. I'm just surviving because of the blessings of devotees. Pune, this place, here is where I did my first DYS course in Kunjabihari temple. Acharya Ratna Prabhu was our teacher. At the time, Revati Prabhu was making announcements and introducing Acharya Ratna Prabhu. And I must say, although I have been engaged by our authorities, especially Gauranga Prabhu, in teaching Srimad Bhagavatam from 2012 in GEV, I came out of GEV to speak Srimad Bhagavatam only because of His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu. Because Prabhu was personally there in GEV from 2014 to 16, 2 years, despite his seniority, his purity, his wisdom, his knowledge, his maturity. He was sitting there as a student, completely embracing the mood of a student, learning Bhagavatam from those who are half his age or one-fourth his experience, sitting with people who are half his age and discussing Bhagavatam with them, writing exams with them, learning shlokas with them, walking from ashram to the classroom, using common toilets, never accepted a separate room, although it is offered so many times. Monday to Friday, he is there in classes, exams, writing exams, attending classes. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, he's here. Friday evening, he comes here. Then Monday morning, he goes. So much hectic schedule at that age also. So anyways, I have very, very sweet, enlivening, nourishing memories of Prabhu's presence there. And every year he keeps coming to inspire us. So he's the one who, what to say, exposed me or allowed me to serve devotees beyond GEV. Pune, Kanpur, Kolkata, Dharwad. And that's how I came to be, I got this opportunity to serve so many Vaishnavas. I am eternally indebted to Radheshyam Prabhu for his personal example primarily, and for the love and affection and care that he gives to the devotees, encouraging. I think one class can go in just glorifying Radhesham Prabhu. But I was also instructed to speak on something. Prabhu gave some pointers to speak on. He spoke, he said, speak Bhagavatam class, not primarily management. He gave some keywords: saintly qualities, dependence, humility, and vision. They are the 4 words that Prabhu gave me in that schedule. I don't know, you must have received that schedule, all the leaders. So based on these 4 words that Prabhu gave, I chose this shloka. This is from the 12th chapter of the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, describing the qualities of Dhruva Maharaj. Jai Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra ki jai. Tamev Shila Sampannam Brahmanyam Dina Vatsalam Goptaram Dharma Setunam Menire Pitaram Prajaha Tamev Shila Sampannam Brahmanyam Dina Vatsalam Goptaram Dharma Setunam Menire Pitaram Prajaha Tameva Shila Sampannam Brahmanyam Dina Vatsalam Goptaram Dharma Setunam Menire Pitaram Prajaha. So this shloka is describing the qualities of Dhruva Maharaj. All the saintly qualities are present in his personality. Right at a young age, at the age of 5, Dhruva Maharaj, with great determination, worshipped Lord Vishnu, chanted the name Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, with the blessings of his Vaishnavi mother Suniti and Vaishnava Guru Narada Muni, and with his own personal determination and zeal, he practiced Bhakti in Madhuvan, in Vrindavan, on the bank of Yamuna. And within 6 months, he got the darshan of Lord Vishnu. He experienced a great amount of purification. Eventually, he was enthroned, the king of his father's kingdom. As a king, what were the qualities that he exhibited? That's what is being described in this shloka. Tameva Shila Sampannam. So, Dhruva Maharaj is endowed with pure Vaishnava character. Shila Sampannam. Sampanna means is endowed with, is filled with Shila. Shila means character, good character. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also speaks to Sanatana Goswami, Maryada Palanahaya Sadhura Bhushan. The bhushan, the ornament of a sadhu, is not the necklace that he wears, is not the bracelets or anklets that he wears, is not the mukut on his head. The real ornament of a sadhu, of a saintly person, is character. Sadhu Lakshana. Maryada Palana, upholding etiquettes, values, virtues, ethics, morals, principles. That's the wealth of a sadhu. And that's how sadhu attracts others. A sadhu doesn't attract other people by his skills. You may have so many skills: singing skills, speaking skills, managerial skills, administrative skills, oratory skills, presentation skills. So many skills. Nowadays, AI skills, articulation skills. Yeah, these are there to impress people, but not to inspire people. What inspires the heart of another person, that too on a spiritual plane, is the sadhutva in the heart. Bhavadvida bhagavataha tirtha bhutaha swayam vibho tirthi kurvanti tirthani swantastena gadabhrita. Because sadhus carry Krishna within their hearts, with the power of the presence of the Supreme Lord Krishna, they are endowed with great character. They manifest saintly behavior, and that saintly behavior, that saintly demeanor, saintly character, saintly attitude attracts and inspires common people. Your skills inspire the minds of common people, but only character inspires the hearts of people. Mhm. And that too, character which is not just a product of mode of goodness, by the way. People who are in Sattva Guna, people who are in mode of goodness also are very gentle, very polite, very respectful, uh, very nice to deal with. But because in this material world, Sattva Guna is not pure, it is often or always tinged with Rajogun and Tamogun, or it has a tendency to get affected by Rajogun and Tamogun. Those who are manifesting these good qualities only on the plane of Sattva Guna will not be able to maintain them or sustain them. We know people who had very great upbringing, Sattva Guna upbringing in their childhood, when they enter college or when they enter teens, they start associating with classmates or friends who may not be coming from that Sattva-guna background. This Sattva-guna student will lose his Sattva-guna also because he is associating with Rajoguna and Tamoguna. But on the other hand, we have seen people who are coming from deep Tamoguna backgrounds also, by associating with sadhus, they gave up their Tamoguni qualities. Because those good qualities which are based on bhakti are more sustainable. But those good qualities which are just based on sattva guna are not sustainable. Yes, those who are in sattva guna also have good qualities. But those who are devotees, yasyasti bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana sarvair gunaistatra samasate suraha hara abhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorathena sati dhavato bahi. When you perform akinchana bhakti, then that akinchana bhakti will manifest all good qualities. Of course, we have to strive to cultivate these good qualities, good character, along with cultivating bhakti. Yet, good character which is dependent on bhakti can survive for a long time, can sustain for a long time, can be maintained for a long time. But that good character which is just a product of goodness, sattvagun, has its own probably beginning and end. Unless the sattvaguna person comes to Shuddha Sattva by practicing Shuddha Bhakti. Shila Sampannam. Dhruva Maharaj is endowed with good character. His skills are not being mentioned here. Yes, there are maybe other shlokas that are mentioning his expertise in administering the kingdom, his bureaucratic rules, his expertise. Yes, in Srimad Bhagavatam, several Vaishnava kings are glorified for their abilities and capabilities, administrative skills also. But the primary glorification of all these saintly leaders is from the perspective of their saintly qualities. That's more important. Shila Sampanna. Then Brahmanyam. Brahmanya means he is always respectful to Brahmanical culture. Any administrative leader should have high regards for another type of leader who is Brahmanical in nature. Those who are Brahmanical, they may not be able to do administration so much, right? Because world is a mirror of our consciousness. When we don't have any tendency to cheat others, we cannot detect cheating in others. Brahmana is naturally simple-hearted. Shamo damaha tapah shaucham. What's the next line? Shantir arjavam. Arjava is simplicity. Because a Brahmana is by nature simple-hearted, he is not wicked, he is not crooked, he has no tendency to cheat others, he has no tendency to exploit others, so he cannot detect exploitative tendency in others. But an administrative leader is supposed to detect cheating in others and protect common people from the cheating. Right? So this administrative leader who is also dealing with that energy in this world is supposed to have great respect for someone who is a Brahmanical leader, who has good qualities, who has knowledge, who has self-control, who has sense control, who has mind control, who has spiritual knowledge, but very simple at heart. Right? He has simplicity of heart. So Kshatriyas like Dhruva Maharaj, not only Dhruva Maharaj, Yudhishthira Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj, Lord Ramachandra, Dasharatha Maharaj, so many, Ambarish Maharaj, so many great administrative kings who are Kshatriya kings, Kshatriya Vaishnavas. They always had their Brahmana advisory council. So respect for Brahmanical culture. That's another important quality of Dhruva Maharaj. Dinavatsalam, he is very compassionate. Brahmanya means those are superior to him in Brahmana qualities, spiritual qualities, he respects them. And Dinavatsalam, he is also very compassionate to common people, younger ones or more dependent ones. Then Goptaram Dharmasetunam, he always protects dharmas, he always protects dharmic principles. Gopta means one who protects. Dharma Setuna. Menire Pitaram Prajaha. He is ruling the kingdom with care, not just control. Control oftentimes is a product of Rajogun. Care is a product of Sattvagun. So control is required definitely. Some Rajogun is required in this world. And care is definitely required. If you are only giving care, emotional care, not controlling people, they'll become careless. Right? But if you are only controlling people, not caring for them, they'll become intimidated. Right? So, our control should always be subordinate to care. If control takes over care, if control is superior to care, people get suffocated. If care is superior, it takes a prime position, and control becomes a subordinate to care. And if you are controlling people out of care, that's fine. That's loving care. Just like mother controls a child. But her primary emotion is care, not control. Similarly, Dhruva Maharaj, Menire Pitaram Prajaha, just like parents care for their children, he cares for the citizens. But within that care, there is control. But control is not the main quality. Care is the main quality. As Damodar Lila also says, Krishna is biting his teeth, biting his lips with his teeth. Lips are red, teeth are white. White represents Sattvagun, red represents Rajogun. So by biting his teeth out of anger, in that innocent Damodar Lila, Krishna is giving us an indication that mode of goodness should control mode of passion, should subdue mode of passion. It may be required, but it should be in the secondary position. Upper position is care. Anyways, these are qualities of Dhruva Maharaj. Now, although Dhruva Maharaj has such wonderful administrative qualities, at one point of time, he also made some mistakes. Once he also went overboard. You know the story, right? Like, once a Yaksha killed Uttama, Dhruva Maharaj's stepbrother. And Dhruva became extremely overwhelmed with anger, with emotion, with feelings. And he took his bow and arrows, he got on his chariot, he told his driver, go to Alakapuri, the place where Yakshas stay. And Dhruva Maharaj eventually reached that Yakshapuri, Alakapuri. He blew his conch shell loudly. And all the Yakshas understood, oh, some powerful warrior came to our kingdom. Wonderful. He came alone. Looks like we have to prepare ourselves for a fight. They appreciated Dhruva Maharaj's enthusiasm and determination to fight and confront. But they also are ready for confrontation. 130,000 Yakshas came to fight with one Dhruva. And Dhruva Maharaj was fighting with them. Dhruva Maharaj is so expert in battle that he picks up 3 arrows at a time and he releases 3 arrows. And Yakshas are no less. They're releasing double the amount. They're releasing 6 arrows. Dhruva Maharaj releases 3 arrows and they release 6 arrows. And how many of them? 130,000 of them. If 130,000 Yakshas release 6 arrows each, how many arrows are coming towards Dhruva every few seconds? 7.8 lakhs? Okay. But Dhruva Maharaj, who is drowned in these arrows, he is like sun rising from the ocean. The arrows are like ocean. but Dhruva is like rising sun. The arrows are like rain, but Dhruva is like mountain. Even though so much rain comes, millions of drops of water, showers of rain fall on the mountain, that only increases the shine of the mountain. Mountain becomes clean and green. In GV, we have this Cohoes mountain, right? Last 16 years, we are seeing that mountain. In monsoon, it's clean and green. With waterfalls also, sometimes rainbow also, sometimes clouds also. But during summer, you see, it's very dry, brown. All water is gone. So rain, although it drenches the mountain, mountain only shines in that rain. Similarly, all the showers of the arrows of yakshas, they are overpowering Dhruva apparently. Dhruva is only shining there. So Dhruva Maharaj is like shining like a mountain. He appeared very clean and green. and like that, Bhagavatam gives so many analogies. Maitreya Muni gives so many analogies in the 4th canto, 10th, 11th chapters, to describe how Dhruva could easily handle this 1,30,000 yakshas effortlessly. And all the yakshas became fearful. My God, one warrior is overpowering all of us. They all ran away. They all ran back into their kingdom. Then Dhruva Maharaj thought, see, I won the war. Now is the time for me to enter this city of Alakapuri and explore the city. I'll understand how the city is being maintained, what are the different excitements present in this city. So he wanted to explore the city. But after a few moments, Dhruva Maharaj thought, no, although yakshas ran away, apparently accepting defeat, they may counterattack me at any moment. I should be alert. I should be extremely careful. Because these people are not ordinary people. They have a lot of mystic powers. With their mystic powers, if they counterattack me again with greater force, what will happen? If I'm just exploring the city in a relaxed way, I may put myself in problem. So Dhruva Maharaj became very alert. He told his driver, hey, let's not go inside. Let's stay here. Let's be alert. Within few moments, Dhruva Maharaj saw a big cloud, great flood, so much of rain, and a mystic mountain in the sky, showering all kinds of weapons, and also raining blood, stool, urine, bile, all kinds of abominable substances. And he saw some big pythons vomiting fire, jackals vomiting fire, snakes vomiting fire, tigers are there. He saw different kinds of soldiers, mystic soldiers, Rakshasi kind of soldiers. They are coming with great weapons, attacking him. Not from one side, from all sides. From top, bottom, left, right, center, all sides. He is surrounded by such mystic ambience. He doesn't know whom to fight with. Basically, these yakshas, they took to black arts. They know this black magic and all kinds of demoniac powers they have. So with the demoniac powers, they created a mystic ambience and completely overpowered Dhruva Maharaj, and Dhruva Maharaj could not understand what's happening. If they were fighting in a very straightforward manner, Dhruva Maharaj could counterattack them very easily. But they were not fighting in a straightforward manner. They were fighting in a crooked manner with some mystic powers, black arts. Dhruva became completely confused and bewildered. Such a powerful warrior, such a great devotee who got the darshan of Lord Vishnu at the age of 5. He also was overpowered. Then some sages came there to rescue Dhruva Maharaj. They said, Dhruva, you want to counteract all these mystic powers or these black arts created by these yakshas? Just use Narayanastra. Dhruva Maharaj knows Narayanastra, but he forgot to use. But the sages came and reminded him. He immediately picked up Narayanastra. He fixed that arrow on his bow. Before he even released that arrow, from that arrow, hundreds and thousands of weapons came and dispelled all this mystic powers created by the yakshas. And then Dhruva, with great enthusiasm, is just fighting with the yakshas, and all the demoniac ambience is dispelled, and yakshas manifested, and Dhruva started killing these yakshas left, right, center. He was very victorious. But at one point, Dhruva crossed his limits. Dhruva Maharaj thought, let me kill all these people. He became a victim of atirosha. He became excessively angry. He was killing all the yakshas. Great massacre. Then Swayambhu Manu, Dhruva's grandfather, came there and said, Dhruva, you are becoming a victim of atirosha, excessive anger, which is a path to hell. Give up this excessive anger. Because for the mistake of one yaksha, just because one yaksha killed your brother, that does not mean you kill all the yakshas. Manu is saying, for the mistake of one person, you cannot punish or condemn or criticize or alienate an entire group or a community. For one person's mistake. Swayambhu Manu says, the father of mankind, the first Manu. And Dhruva Maharaj, he also said, Swayambhu Manu, Dhruva, it's proved that you are a great lover of your brother. You have so much love for your brother. Just to prove that you love your brother, you don't have to kill so many people, just to exhibit your emotions. Sometimes, because we have some affection for somebody, to prove that affection, we fight with the world. You don't have to do that, unless it is Krishna. And he also said, you have offended a great personality. Kuvera, the king of Yakshas, is very much upset with your activities. Go and say sorry. Go and apologize. Then Dhruva, for a Kshatriya, when he is in the middle of battlefield, when the passion and passion levels are so high, he cannot accept a good advice, peace advice. He wants to fight only. But Dhruva Maharaj, because he is Shila Sampannam, although he became distracted from his Shila Sampannam for a while, he came back to normal when Swayambhu Manu came and said, I'm sorry, I'm going to apologize in front of Kuvera. And he immediately went to Kuvera and he said, Kuvera, I'm really sorry for killing so many yakshas. And Kuvera said, don't worry. I appreciate that you have stopped fighting because of the advice of your grandfather. You have not killed my yakshas. It's their karma. And by the way, yakshas have not killed your brother. That is his karma. Basically, it's ordained by the Supreme Lord. So I don't hold you responsible. You also don't hold them responsible. You ask whatever benediction you want. Said, I want unflinching remembrance of Krishna. Kuvera is a wealthy person. But Dhruva Maharaj is asking for unflinching Krishna Smaranam. And Kuvera said, Tathastu. And Dhruva came back home. That's a story. All of us know this story. Just now I gave kids class. I am not repeating the kids class here, although it seemed like that last few minutes. Let's revisit the story again. How is it relevant for us in this current context? Let's revisit the story. Dhruva Maharaj's brother has been killed by yakshas, and it is justified and reasonable on the part of Dhruva Maharaj to go and punish the miscreant who unceremoniously killed his brother. To that degree, Dhruva Maharaj's emotions are justified, actions are justified. Prabhupada writes in the purport. 4th canto, 12th chapter, beginning purports, 4th or 5th. So then, Dhruva Maharaj goes and he starts killing the yakshas, fighting with the yakshas. So Prabhupada says that when we start practicing devotional service, we are declaring a war against Maya. Every sadhaka is a warrior. And sadhakas also experience some things like Dhruva Maharaj experienced on the battlefield. Right? We are not so exalted like Dhruva Maharaj, but there are some parallels here. A sadhaka also fights with Maya sometimes. Or we have to constantly fight with Maya. Now, just as Dhruva Maharaj won the battle in the initial part of the battle with the yakshas, similarly, sadhaka also wins the battle for some time, because initial days of bhakti, there's a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of excitement, probably not pure taste for Krishna consciousness, but because it's very fresh, it's very new. The newness of the experience, the adventurous spirit there may excite us to explore the path. Oh, Vrindavan Yatra, Mayapur Yatra. Sri Rangam Yatra. Oh, I'm excited. After 4 or 5 yatras, oh, I'll stay back. Right? Little boring. So initially there's a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of excitement. And we sincerely chant also. We try our best to chant, to hear, to participate in all devotional activities, to render service to devotees. So we are happy and inspired and excited and enthusiastic in our practice of bhakti in the initial stages. And we are able to protect ourselves from the vibes of Maya, allurement of Maya also for some time. Just like Dhruva won over the Yakshas in the initial part of the battle. Similarly, a sadhaka also mm, may be able to protect oneself from the distractions or attacks of Maya for some time. Then chant for a few years, practice devotional service for a few years. Then sadhaka may develop some kind of confidence. Oh, last 5 years I did not get any lusty thought. Last 5 years I did not criticize any devotees. Last 5 years I did not feel like watching a movie, or I did not feel like wearing some kind of stylish attire. So one might think that I have become stable in my bhakti. I am steadily progressing in bhakti. I am now fixed up devotee now. I am seasoned devotee now. I am senior devotee now. So one may feel a sense of confidence. Just like Dhruva felt a sense of confidence, a sense of victory over the Yakshas when the Yakshas ran away. But a sincere sadhaka is one who doesn't become complacent in bhakti, who doesn't become overconfident in bhakti. Yes, our bhakti may be going on very smoothly, our sadhana is going on smoothly, our swadhyaya is going on smoothly, our seva is very effective. We are also being praised for our services. Many devotees are recognizing, oh, wonderful, amazing, wonderful. They are encouraging. So we think that we are going steadily on the path of bhakti. But we should ensure that that steadiness doesn't become overconfidence, doesn't become pride or arrogance. Because Dhruva Maharaj was very alert. Although he became victorious over the Yakshas, Dhruva Maharaj did not feel that I have become victorious. He felt, oh, they may counterattack. I should be ready for it. I should be prepared for a counterattack. I can't just say this is the end of the war. I'm still here. They may attack. Similarly, we may practice bhakti for 10 years and things are going on well. We should not be overconfident because Maya can attack at any time. Mama Maya Duratyaya. Maya can attack even seasoned people also, experienced people also, leaders also. Just because somebody is a leader, generally a leader has some control, power, position, possession, and control over other people's lives, other people's time, other people's emotions. So we have emotional control over people as a leader. We have we can influence people in certain way if you happen to be a leader. But while having some influence over other people's spiritual lives, we should ensure that we are not influenced by Maya. And we should be aware that we could be influenced by Maya at any moment. Maya is very powerful. You want a proof? Go to the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 18th chapter, 4th shloka. Vadanti Vishwam Kavayasmanashwaram Pashyanti Chadhyatmad Vido Vipaschitah Tathapi Muhyanti Tavajamaya Suvismitam Krityamajam Natosmitam. Vadanti Vishwam Kavayasmanashwaram. This Vishwam, this material universe, is temporary in nature. And there are so many exalted preachers, so many exalted, experienced, seasoned practitioners of bhakti. They understood and they realized the temporary nature of this material world. They are convinced about it. They can even convince others also through their preaching. But still, Tathapi Muhyanti Tavajamayaya. Aja, the unborn Lord's Maya, will thoroughly bewilder them. Tathapi Muhyanti. Suvismitam Krityamajam Natosmitam. Suvismitam will be thoroughly bewildered. The Lord has to manifest his internal potency or Yogamaya to bewilder Brahma and Shiva. But a struggling sadhaka, a slight, mild glance of the external potency of the Lord can do a thorough job in fully bewildering us. Right? That's what a sadhaka is. So if Brahma could be distracted for a moment in the Brahma Vimohana Leela, if Shiva could be distracted by Mohini Murti, and if many other like Pururava, Yayati, so many people are there. They're all exalted personalities, but they were distracted. Maya is very powerful. And Dhruva became so bewildered that he became a victim of Atirosha. At the age of 5, he saw the Lord. The Lord said, your Vaikuntha airplane has been booked. After 36,000 years, you can board the airplane. You'll come to Vaikuntha. So after getting the darshan of the Lord, after getting a promise from the Lord that he will go to Vaikuntha after ruling this earth for 36,000 years, Dhruva got distracted. Dhruva became a victim of Atirosha. He was about to annihilate, chop off entire race of yakshas for the mistake done by one yaksha. And that too, Lord predicted already. One yaksha kills your brother. Lord Vishnu already told Dhruva that a yaksha will kill his brother, Uttama. Dhruva knows this. Before the death of Uttama, Dhruva is aware. But when Uttama died, Dhruva became, oh, I have to go and kill them. Not one, all. Right? If Dhruva could become a victim of excessive anger at such an exalted stage of bhakti, being a leader exhibiting all these qualities, tameva sila sampannam brahmanyam dena what to speak of a struggling sadhaka or a leader in this world, within a spiritual community, because distractions can occur at any moment. The biggest distraction is not YouTube or Instagram or some billboard on the street. The biggest distraction is our own overconfidence. When we are overly confident of our ability to not get distracted, that itself is a distraction. We should be dependent. We should always be dependent on Krishna's mercy. We should always be dependent on Vaishnava's mercy. When Dhruva Maharaj, just like Dhruva Maharaj was very alert, extremely alert. And these yakshas came with greater force to kill Dhruva. And Dhruva was bewildered. So when Maya is mildly glancing at us, we can somehow manage steadiness in practice of bhakti. But when Maya severely glances at us, just like yakshas came with greater force, we are overwhelmed. Oh my God, what is this? When the yakshas were fighting in a very straightforward manner with Dhruva, he could manage the fight. He was winning. But when they increased the temperature, intensity of their attack by taking to black arts, Dhruva was bewildered. Oh, I can't handle this. Then who helped him? Vaishnavas helped him. Sages helped him. And how did they help him? By reminding him of Narayana. Use Narayana Astra. We also have Narayana Astra. Bead bag. Right? He loka srunuta prasuti marana vyadheschikitsam imam yogagna samudaharanti munayo yam yagnavalkyadaya antarjyotirameyamekam krishnakhyama piyatam tatpitam paramaushadham vitanute nirvanamatyantikam. So we have this vyadhi. We have this great disease of being caught up in the cycle of birth and death, and the medicine is decided. So many exalted personalities have recommended that medicine. What is that? Krishna khyama piyatam tatpitam paramaushadham vitanute nirvanam atyantikam. Drink this medicine of Krishna Katha. He martyah paramam shrutam Paramam hitam shrunutavo vakshyami sankshepatah samsararnava mapa durmi bahulam samyak pravishya sthitah nana gnanam apasya chetasi namo narayanayetyabum mantram sapranavam pranama sahitam pravartayedham. Just that mantra, Narayana mantra, pranama sahitam. Mantram sab pranavam pranama sahitam. We say Narayana, Namo Narayana, add Om there, Om Namo Narayana. And pranama sahitam, offer obeisances. Pravartayadvam muhu, practice this. See, when we have some problem, we go to some Vaishnavas for solution, and the solution that they prescribe is chant the holy names of the Lord. The prime solution for most of our problems in this material world is back to basics. B2B, back to basics. Shravanam and Kirtanam. That's our prime medicine for our material disease. That's the prime treatment for our material disease. All the sages did not do something great or present some innovative, creative, out-of-the-box method for Dhruva to protect himself from the allurement of yakshas. They said, chant Narayana. And Dhruva is aware of it. Dhruva was aware of Narayanastra, but he forgot. He forgot to apply. Similarly, we are aware of the glories of the holy name. Even as leaders, as practitioners, as sadhakas, as seasoned sadhakas, as senior sadhakas, we may be aware of the potency of holy name. We can even convince others also about the potency of holy name. Harer Namaiva Kevalam. We can sing also. Harer Namaiva Kevalam. We can do that. But when allurement comes, when Maya tempts us, allures us, distracts us, and when she increases her temperature, we may fail to take shelter of the holy name of the Lord. Then Vaishnavas come to our rescue. They remind us, Prabhu, please chant Hare Krishna. Sincerely, sit next to me and chant. Looks like you are chanting alone. Nothing wrong in chanting alone, but sit with Vaishnavas and chant also. Right? So, Vaishnavas, their prime service is to constantly encourage us to take shelter of the holy names of Krishna, take shelter of sadhana. And whoever is doing that job, whoever is doing that selfless, thankless service in our lives, we need to be extremely grateful to them. This morning during morning program, His Grace Radhesham Prabhu was saying, sitting in that corner, as we progress in bhakti, or as we spend more years in Krishna consciousness, we become senior and older, we become like a tree developing its trunk and branches and leaves and twigs and flowers and fruits and giving shelter to so many living entities. So many are dependent on this tree for shade, for leaves, for wood, for flowers, for fruits, for shelter. But if the tree itself is not grounded nicely, not rooted properly, if the roots are not strong enough, then little wind in this monsoon season, tree will fall. So, as we are spending more time in bhakti or being seen as people who are senior or seasoned practitioners, so what people see is the trunk and the crown of the tree, but what people don't see is the roots. And because they are not visible, our focus may go on decorating the tree which is visible only, but our focus may not be on the invisible part. That invisible nourishment or root is our own connection with the sound vibration in the form of holy name and Srimad Bhagavatam. Shravanam and Kirtanam. Hearing and chanting are the basics, all the limbs of bhakti, and our own obedience to Guru. And that hearing and chanting is most effectively done in the Sangha of Vaishnavas. So Prahlad Maharaj, he could not chant the name of Narayana on the battlefield when the attack was too intense. Then sages came and reminded him, hey, please, you should use Narayanastra. And the sages are not warriors, by the way. They are simple people. You may think I'm a manager, I'm a leader, I'm a kshatriya, I can do things. I'm accomplished and they are not accomplished. They are just eating and reading and meditating, doing some mantra in secluded forests. But they are the one who rescued him. Sages. They are not warriors. Although they are not participating in the war, they can do their timely intervention and help the person who is leading the war. So, Dhruva Maharaj was humble enough to accept the advice of the sages. We may forget, although we are aware of some solutions to our problems, we may forget to apply them. We may lack the ability to apply them, but some sincere Vaishnavas will come to our rescue. Therefore, prioritizing sadhu sangha, prioritizing the association of Vaishnavas, being obedient to them, being respectful to them is very much essential for our advancement in bhakti. However advanced we may be, we cannot be as advanced as someone who is independent of, or we can't be so advanced enough to where we can say we are independent of Vaishnava Sangha. Right? One who claims that I don't need Vaishnava Sangha is not necessarily an advanced devotee. Right? One who always prioritizes dependence on the association of Vaishnavas is actually an advancing devotee or advanced devotee. And Dhruva Maharaj, with the assistance of these Vaishnavas, happily participated in the war again. He dispelled all the demonic illusions. But again, another problem came. He became victorious. He used Narayanastra. He dispelled all the demonic illusions. But he became there is another headache. He was not attacked from outside. Now he's attacked from inside. Earlier, when the attack from outside was mild, he could manage it. Later, when the attack from outside is intense, he could not manage it. Sages came and helped him by reminding him of holy name, Narayana. But later, the attack was not from outside, it's from inside, in the form of his own excessive anger. He became overly emotional. Now, the black arts created by yakshas are gone, but in his heart, there is excessive anger, excessive emotion, and because of which he lost discrimination. He lost his viveka. Earlier he was fighting with Maya, but sometimes while fighting with Maya, while trying to stay away from Maya, we condemn Maya so much. Sometimes Gyanis do that. Brahma, Satyan, Jagan, Mithya, etc., etc. But Vaishnavas, they don't hate Maya. When songs like Maya, Pishachi and all are present, that's to caution us to stay away from Maya, don't be affected by Maya. But we don't have to hate this material world. We don't have to destroy this material world. Vaishnava scriptures teach us to use everything that we see in the service of Krishna. While trying to stay away from Maya, if we are hating Maya, there's something wrong. Maya is Krishna's energy. You stay away, like fire is there. Don't put your hands in the fire, but use the fire nicely to make chapati, to cook your rice. Right? So sometimes a practitioner of spiritual path becomes so overexcited in condemning Maya or staying away from Maya, but that way he becomes more Maya conscious than Krishna conscious. Morning Prabhu was giving this Dasi formula. D for detachment, but don't stop there. A for attachment to Krishna also. Detachment from matter is not sufficient. Attachment to Krishna is also required. And while you are cultivating that sincere attachment to Krishna, what Maya provides, the resources that Maya provides, will help us to intensify our connection with Krishna. Right? We are not a devotee of detachment. We, like flower is matter. It's matter, of course. But you can pluck it, make a nice garland, use it in Krishna's service nicely, and that way it is spiritualized. We get an opportunity to serve Krishna. We are spiritualized. Similarly, this is spiritualized. And whoever comes in contact with the Tadiya of the Lord, they also become spiritualized. So, as one progresses in bhakti, one should reduce one's hatred or negativity towards things around in this world. Because sometimes we may condemn someone so much, or condemn something, or condemn Maya so much so that we become Maya conscious than Krishna conscious. Dhruva Maharaj was dispelling the black arts of yakshas and is disapproving their activity of killing his brother unceremoniously. But he went so overboard that he is killing so many yakshas for one yaksha's mistake. So now whose mistake is that? It's not Yaksha's mistake, it is Dhruva's mistake now. Dhruva Maharaj became so distracted by his own anger that he did not hesitate to destroy an entire race of Yakshas until Swayambhu Manu came and said, relax, stop. Sometimes when our mind becomes very immature and not having a broader vision, having a very narrow-minded vision, then those who have broad vision, they should come and train us. That's what Swayambhu Manu did. Please, you don't uh, condemn all the yakshas like this. And Dhruva Maharaj's good quality is he was obedient. Earlier he was confused. He took the guidance of the sages and came out of that confusion. Now he became a little distracted by his own anger. He went overboard. He crossed certain limits, boundaries. Boundaries were blurred. Then our Swayambhu Manu said, "No, this is a clear boundary. Don't blur it. You should not cross. You can stay away from Maya to protect yourself, but don't condemn it." That is like, Yukta Vairagya principle. Like, prapanchikataya buddhya harisambandhi vastunah mumukshubir parityago vairagyam falgu kathyate. Thinking that these are all prapanchik, material stuff. So, we condemn it, and that is falgu vairagya. Then anasakta vashyan, yatharham upayunjitaha, mumukshubir, no. Nirbandhe Krishna sambandhe yukta vairagya muchyate. Yeah, nirbandhe Krishna sambandhe. We should not condemn Maya so much that we ignore the sambandha between the objects and people of this world with Krishna. Right? When we really have sambandha jnana, we acknowledge and we recognize that sambandha between Krishna and everything in this world. But we should also have the discrimination to understand our own potency, our own potential. It may be Krishna sambandha and it can be utilized in Krishna's service, but am I the right person to do it? It's Krishna's energy, we understand. We don't condemn it, we don't hate it. But do I have the ability and maturity to utilize it in Krishna's service? If not, let someone else do it. I'll stay away. Proper rights. You can go and embrace a cow or a calf, Krishna's energy. But can you embrace a tiger? That will be the last embrace of life. Right? So yes, we should recognize the connection between Krishna and objects and people in this world and not condemn them, not hate them, not say Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, etc. But we should also have the maturity and viveka to understand our own capacity to use everything in Krishna's service. Just because so and so devotee is able to use everything in Krishna's service, I may not be able to use it. Let me understand my boundaries. There also we need guidance of devotees. Right? Swayambhu Manu, he guided Dhruva Maharaj. He said, go and say sorry. And finally, Dhruva Maharaj admitted his mistake and he went to our Kuvera and said sorry. And when Kuvera offered a benediction, what did Dhruva Maharaj aspire for? Dhruva said, I want unflinching remembrance of Krishna. Just because we have spent some time or we are in a leadership position or whatever, that's not a license for us to take others for granted. That's not a license for us to take someone who is little younger in bhakti for granted also. We need blessings of everyone. That humility is an important quality of a leader. Dhruva Maharaj is more spiritually advanced than Kuvera from one perspective. He got the darshan of the Lord at the age of 5. And Lord said, come to Vaikuntha. Very soon I'll send a Vaikuntha airplane. But Kuvera, we don't hear all that stuff in Kuvera's life. But how can Dhruva Maharaj beg for unflinching remembrance, constant Krishna Smaranam from Kuvera? Who, from a spiritual perspective, who is in a little lesser step compared to Dhruva? The answer is simple. Even if he is a younger devotee, even if he is a junior devotee, even if he is someone whom you have given Kantimala, even then, their displeasure can act as an obstacle for our Krishna Smarana. That's the principle. Apart from protecting ourselves from Maya's distractions and allurements, another serious thing that we need to protect ourselves from is Vaishnava Aparadha. And Vaishnava is not one who is senior to us only. Those who are younger than us also are Vaishnavas. So when we displease another Vaishnava, when we hurt another Vaishnava unnecessarily, if they do some mistake, younger ones, it's your responsibility to correct. You need to correct them with love and care. That's what we saw. Menire pataram prajaha. Like a loving father, loving older brother, or a loving superior with a well-wishing intention, you can correct. That's fine. That's a part of training. But what is correction and what is offense? So we need to have that discrimination. Every correction need not be an offense, but every correction need not lead to offense also. So if Dhruva Maharaj felt that because I displeased Kuvera, his displeasure will act as an obstacle for my own Krishna Smaranam. So, O Kuvera, please allow me to continue my remembrance of Krishna. That means don't hold any bitter feelings. Kuvera said, no bitter feelings. May you do Krishna Smaranam happily. Right? That's an ideal leader. An ideal leader is one who admits mistakes. Dhruva Maharaj, he was confused at one stage. He was humble enough to accept guidance from sages. Dhruva Maharaj, he was also, he did a mistake at one stage and he was humble enough to accept feedback from Swayambhu Manu. And he was humble enough to go and apologize in front of Kuvera. In one pastime we have seen Dhruva, such an exalted personality. 3 times he was bewildered. 3 times he was distracted. Just because somebody is advanced enough in terms of years or experience, that does not mean Maya will spare them. Sometimes there is a possibility of getting distracted at any stage. And by the way, it's not a license for us to criticize Dhruva. We should study Srimad Bhagavatam and learn what not to do from the mistakes of great souls without criticizing them, without offending them, without demeaning them, without disrespecting them. Dhruva is exalted. He is worshipable now. But we are discussing some mistakes of Dhruva, confusions of Dhruva, humbling or humiliating situations of Dhruva for our own learning, so that we don't repeat the same mistakes. Why is mistakes of great souls are recorded in Srimad Bhagavatam? Why they are recorded? So that we don't repeat them. That's the whole purpose. Not that we criticize them. So Dhruva Maharaj was humble enough to beg forgiveness from Kuvera. Kuvera said, yes, please continue your Krishna Smarana. So as leaders also have the responsibility to respectfully deal with those who are younger or older or equals, peers, and also should have the humility to admit mistakes, accept corrections, and understand that it is quite possible that I can also make a mistake. There should be honesty in accepting one's mistakes and admitting one's mistakes. And there should be honesty in regretting for the mistakes. And there should be honesty in trying our best not to repeat the same mistake again. Overnight we cannot overcome a fault, but over a period of time we should gradually overcome it and try not to repeat it. And remember it. We'll discuss more. I think I went beyond time, say 23 or something like that. But these are some thoughts on this shloka and Dhruva Maharaj's episode. Kindly forgive me if there are any mistakes in my presentation. Any corrections, Prabhu, any comments? Radhesham Prabhu and Kanaya Thakur Prabhu, Acharya Ratna Prabhu, so many jewel-like devotees are here.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, so wonderful enlightenment on leadership qualities. One question I just wanted to ask. You mentioned unless one has a cheating ability, he is not able to detect others cheating.
No. One should be smart enough to detect others cheating. Not that we should have cheating propensity to detect others cheating. Did we discuss that? No. A Brahmanical person is so simple-hearted, he cannot cheat. He cannot detect others cheating. But a leader, a Kshatriya leader or administrative leader, it is his responsibility to detect cheating. Like in GV, Many of our brahmacharis also deal with vendors, procuring materials, iron, bricks, cement, etc. So many things, and purchasing. Sometimes, even if they see some sadhu in saffron with shaved head, also these vendors will cheat sometimes. So there are some brahmacharis who are smart enough to detect the cheating. so, so that smartness we should have, not that we should cheat others. That's not the point. Got it, Prabhu? Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Good.
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा। प्रभु जी आपने बहुत सुंदर प्रवचन दिया, लेकिन ये जो प्रश्न मैं पूछ रही हूँ ये मेरे मंद बुद्धि के कारण पूछ रही हूँ, तो मैं पहले क्षमा मांगती हूँ आपसे। आपने जो साधु के गुण जो बताए प्रभु जी, ये गुण क्या उस साधु व्यक्ति में जन्म से ही होते हैं, या उसके पुण्य पूर्व जन्म के पुण्य कर्म से होते हैं, या पूर्व जन्म के भक्ति के कारण होते हैं, या इस जन्म का जो साधु संग वो लेते उसके कारण होते हैं, या प्रार्थना के कारण होते हैं, या भगवान की कृपा के कारण होते हैं? कौन से कारण से ये साधु, वो उनमें साधु के क्वालिटीज होते हैं प्रभु जी? और मेरा दूसरा प्रश्न ये है,
One at a time. Answer to your first question is all the above. We develop good qualities in all these ways. It could be coming from past life, it could be coming from sadhu sangha in this life, practice of bhakti in life in this life, or practice of bhakti in past life. You have listed all possibilities.
और मेरा दूसरा प्रश्न ये था प्रभु जी, ये जो साधु पुरुष होते जैसे कि हमारे राधेश्याम प्रभु जी है, आप है, तो आप बहुत ऊंचाई पे होते हो प्रभु जी, तो ऐसे साधु पुरुष के क्वालिटीज हम अभी बहुत नीचे, हमारा स्तर बहुत नीचे है, तो हमें वो क्वालिटीज आने की इच्छा हमें हृदय में रखनी चाहिए, उसके लिए भगवान से प्रार्थना करनी चाहिए या नहीं?
Of course, we should pray to Krishna. Krishna, please give me some inspiration to cultivate Vaishnava qualities and help me cultivate Vaishnava qualities. Bring me in contact with those devotees who have those qualities so that in their association I can develop them.
और प्रभु जी जो वैष्णव रहते हैं, जो हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र का जप कर रहे हैं इस्कॉन में, या इस्कॉन के बाहर जो दूसरे दूसरे हरि नाम ले रहे हैं हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र छोड़ के, क्या वो सभी वैष्णव है प्रभु जी? सिर्फ हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र करने
Anyone who is chanting the holy names of Krishna under the guidance and instruction of any bona fide Vaishnava Acharya's teachings, we call him Vaishnava. Right? If they are connected to a bona fide lineage, Vaishnava Sampradaya, anybody is Vaishnava. We are following one Sampradaya. There are many other bona fide Sampradayas. So we should have the humility and respectful quality to honor all the Vaishnavas irrespective of their irrespective of some finer differences in our styles of connecting with Krishna. As long as they are connected to Krishna through a bona fide Vaishnava line, we respect them. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for your most wonderful class.
Yes, Mataji, continue.
Prabhuji, you mentioned that if we are akinchan, we get all the good qualities. Could you please elaborate this? In the initial phases of your lectures today, so you mentioned that if we are...
Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana sarvair gunestatra samasate asuraha harav abhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorathe nasati dhavato bhi. Yes, when we practice devotional service, that practice, sincere practice of bhakti will lead to the development of good character, good qualities. Dhruva, he was very ambitious prince. He was behind power and position and prestige. He wanted a position superior to his great grandfather Brahma also. He was very envious of his stepbrother Uttama. He wanted to take revenge on his stepmother Suruchi. But the practice of bhakti completely destroyed all those qualities in him. Within 6 months of practice of this bhakti in Vrindavan, chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Dhruva Maharaj became so purified that when Lord Vishnu appeared in front of him, he did not ask for anything that he was meditating on some time back. In fact, he felt very guilty. He was so repentant that, oh my God, why did I even hold that envy towards my stepbrother? Why did I have that revengeful attitude towards my stepmother? Why was I aspiring for position superior to Brahma? He felt guilty. So where did this transformation come from? From his sincere bhakti. Our bhakti may not be apratihata, ahaituki in the beginning. But if it is apratihata, it will become ahaituki. And what is ahaituki? Unmotivated. Unmotivated bhakti. Means selfless bhakti. Pure bhakti. No ulterior motives. Then apratihata means no irregularities. No inconsistencies. So we may not begin bhakti with pure motives. We may have some ulterior motives. But if our bhakti is consistent, if our bhakti is regular, consistent, sincere, disciplined, that sincere, regulated, consistent practice of bhakti will purify our motives. Dhruva Maharaj, he began bhakti with a negative motive, bad motive, or material motive. But his practice was consistent, isn't it? He is chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya with sincerity, as per the instructions of Narada Muni. And that sincere, consistent practice of bhakti, trying to concentrate on this holy name, that purified all his motives. So, sincerity comes before purity. We may not have sincerity now, we may not have purity now, but if we become sincere now, eventually we will become pure. So sincerity, this is simpler terms. Ahaituki apratihata may be little tough terms. Let's begin with sincerity, then we'll cultivate that purity. Does it make sense?
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Yes. Murli Sham Prabhu, this Prabhu, and here Samarpan Go Prabhu and Mataji. How many should we take? It's 9:30 already. We have a schedule, right?
I'm trying to understand the dharma of brahmachari. You started with gunas. So, but we are not brahmacharis who are spiritual leaders. Mostly we are managers with so much facilities, flying here and there with so much people and post and everything. And I'm not seeing much example of brahmachari being a king or a vaishya. But we are here and now in ISKCON. So can you throw some light upon this brahmachari getting into vaishya and kshatriya? And
Okay, fine. Brahmachari by definition is Brahman charati iti brahmachari. Means brahmachari should be fixed up in spiritual knowledge, spiritual wisdom. Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya yajna. You see, fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Brahmacharis perform the sacrifice of Swadhyaya, studying the scriptures, understanding them, assimilating them. Not to become scholars or philosophers, but to become devotees. We are not here for scholarship, we are into servitorship. So brahmachari should be rooted in shastric study, not like a scholar, but to try to imbibe the values and nourish oneself with Nama Rupa Gunalila. That's one thing. Secondly, 7th canto of Bhagavatam, 12th chapter, 1st sloka says, Brahmachari Gurukule Vasan Danto Guror Hitam. Apart from being well versed in Shastra, the Brahmachari also should be very obedient to Guru and render service to Guru, and he stays in Guru's ashram only for the service of Guru, benefit of Guru. Guror Hitam. So whatever Guru says is the duty of a Brahmachari. Right? Whether it is traditional system or modern system, principles don't change. So if Guru is instructing us to perform certain service, it could be construction or it could be studying Shastra, it could be teaching or preaching or whatever it is. If it is authorized by Guru, instructed by Guru, obediently following the instruction of spiritual master is the prime duty of a Brahmachari. So 2 things we discussed. One is about Swadhyaya, Brahmacharati, being rooted in spiritual knowledge, spiritual wisdom. Second is being an obedient, submissive, menial servant of Guru's instructions. Thirdly, Brahmachari stays away from women, opposite gender. Staying away does not mean with a disrespectful attitude, but seeing them like a mother. Seeing the members of opposite gender like mothers, like according to Vaishnava culture, Matravat paradareshu paradravyeshu lostravat. Matravat paradareshu means except one's own wife, a man should consider every woman as a mother. Brahmacharis don't have wives. Sannyasis don't have wives. For them, every single woman is a mother. So, dealing has to be respectful, cordial, not loose, but with respect, and keep the boundaries clear. No blurring of boundaries. So interaction has to be very respectful and for service. So that's one more aspect of brahmachari. As far as brahmachari getting engaged in certain activities like as well, flying and all that managing, if that's a part of Guru's service, we'll do it. Right? If that's what Guru instructs us to do, and that is suiting our kind of nature or skill set, so we may do it for Krishna's pleasure, for Guru's pleasure, for Vaishnava's pleasure, but without getting affected by it. So when we are dealing with matter, our consciousness may get affected. Now the dealing with matter can be under the umbrella of Guru's service. So how do we protect our consciousness while dealing with matter under the instruction of Guru? The more we are rooted in Shravanam and Kirtanam, the more we will be protected from the vibes that come from our dealings with matter. The brahmachari may handle accounts, he may touch money, but he should be detached from money. Right? So how will the detachment come from? From devotion. Where will the devotion come from? Shravanam Kirtanam. To the degree we are rooted in our own devotional activities, our own core sadhana, to that degree we will be unaffected by all the possible distractions while serving Guru in certain ways, right? Which may not be directly like Shastra connected, but as you said, flying this and that, construction, what else you said? We're dealing with money, all that stuff. Vaishya Kshatriya roles, correct. We are Vaishnavas. Then we are Brahmacharis, Kshatriya, Vaishya, etc. Morning Prabhuji quoted, right? Na ham viprona janarapatir napi Vaishyana Sudro. A role may resemble the role of a Vaishya. A role of a Brahmachari may resemble the role of a Kshatriya. But essentially, a Brahmachari is a Vaishnava. Supposed to be a Vaishnava. Our Vaishnava designation is more important than our designation as other like Vaishya roles and other roles, other Varna roles. Yeah, these are some thoughts. Maybe Prabhu can add more or edit.
Hare Krishna. Like Dwarkadish Prabhu, Vishwaru Prabhu and all. You know, how many of you see them first as devotees and then as doctors? First they look like a devotee for you, then you see them as a, correct? No? So although they are very prominent, big doctors, and just like Lord Chaitanya told about Murari Gupta, isn't it? Murari Gupta was seen as a doctor or a devotee. Yeah, that's what Prabhu is saying, that your Vaishnava role should stand out so much that people see you less as a manager or a money handler than a Vaishnava. And Chitari Prabhu, go ahead. There was a great poet. He'll make a poem on Gauranga Darshan Prabhu now.
Hi Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you for a very nice presentation. Prabhuji, I had one question. You mentioned about absorption and hearing in chanting, and Prabhuji also mentioned in the morning. So I was having a question that absorption is done in like private, like when we are sadhana, reading, hearing, but services are visible outside. So as one goes above and above in leadership, responsibilities in problems increases, and then one gets involved in that, and often these basics are left behind, although one may inspire others to do so. So in long run, in spite of the time, the interest may go down sometime. So some practical tips you can give on that.
Basics are left behind when we think they are basics. Yes, they are basics in the sense that they are the foundation of our spiritual life. So when we say back to basics, back to strengthening our foundation. So we need to prioritize. There is no substitute to our own voluntary commitment to nourish ourselves with the core, foundational, fundamental, basic aspects of bhakti, which is Shravanam and Kirtanam. We need to prioritize it. And we'll be able to prioritize it to the degree we have like-minded practitioners or those who are rooted in those practices who can remind us. Their words should remind us, their example should remind us. Their example should remind us. Oh, although he's so busy in said management and leadership and all, still he's prioritizing Bhagavatam, prioritizing chanting, prioritizing hearing. So seeing that example, that should alarm us, it should pinch us. Hey, I'm not attending, he's attending. So that dependence on devotees will help us. Just like when Dhruva Maharaj was totally caught up in this passionate activity of fighting with the yakshas, he forgot Narayanastra. Who reminded him? Sages reminded him. Right? So devotees who are rooted in these practices will remind us. Their example will remind us. Their words will remind us. We should also give some liberty to other devotees to correct us. Otherwise, just because we have been around for a while, if we become uncorrectable, that's an unfortunate situation. We should give some liberty to others to correct us. At least a few people, a handful of people whom we value, whom we respect, whose words we take seriously. Some good friends, devotee friends, and some well-wishing seniors. It could be juniors also. After some time, who is senior, who is junior? Like, there may be some 3-4 years difference here and there, but when they're rooted in their practice, although they're younger, we can take nourishment from them. We can learn from them. Just like Vidura was willing to accept Uddhava as his guru, although he is in the next generation. Okay, does it make sense? Hare Krishna. We'll conclude. Bro, it's 9:40. You're not hungry? When is the next session? Antaradvi Prabhu has. Samarpan Go Prabhu is raising hand for a long time. Yes, Mataji. We should give priority to Matajis.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your wonderful class. I had like one question came when you were telling about the Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma were also conquered by Maya. So like Lord Shiva is called Param Vaishnava and Lord Brahma is also like he created this world and all. So it's like why doesn't Lord Krishna protect them from the Maya?
I think the things that we were quoting are like, it's not that they're actually conquered by Maya. At one point, Krishna engaged these great personalities as instruments to teach us a lesson. When Shiva was running behind Mohini Murti, from one perspective, Lord Vishnu in the form of Mohini Murti took Shiva amongst the hermitages of sages and made him get attracted in that way so that all the people practicing renunciation will get some message. But from another perspective, Shiva is attracted to whom? Krishna. Who is Mohini Murti? She is Krishna. So the Lord was thinking that the personification of material energy, Parvati, could not captivate Shiva. So I have to manifest my internal potency in the form of Mohini Murti to captivate Shiva. So that's a glorification of Shiva. That's not a humiliating situation of Shiva. Apparently it seems so, just so that we get a message. But in reality, that's a glorification of Shiva. And after getting embraced by Lord Vishnu like that, what did Shiva think? Shiva was thinking. Prabhupada writes in the 8th canto, 12th chapter, beautiful purports, brilliant purports. Prabhupada said that Shiva felt my master is so glorious that he can even captivate me also. He's telling this to Parvati. Parvati, you could not captivate me. He could captivate me. Right? His internal potency captivated me, not you, external potency. And even Brahma's case also, that's under the influence of Yoga Maya. But when such episodes in Bhagavatam are described, it's not meant for us to disrespect them. It's meant for us to take a message, a lesson which is relevant for our sadhana. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. We'll conclude here. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.